we live?
Yep.
We're live.
Figured I'd start it out with a nice little song since Panozzo said just the four of us. You know,
They may kick us off Facebook. You know, we got to buy those.
Yes, because it sounded so realistic that Facebook thought it was the real number that was playing in the background.
We're no longer a billiards show. It's going to be nothing but karaoke for the next 15 minutes.
It's a variety show.
Right. Expanding.
Q Up's got no talent.
Yeah.
Mike, we can change it to Mike It Up and make a karaoke podcast. I'm not totally sure. What do you guys think?
Perfect. We could have effort.
Boy, that's got a ring to it, Mike. What do you think?
How happy did Efren
got a bit of a ring to it.
How happy did Efren look to get a photograph with Darren Appleton?
If his eyes are open, it's a success.
Yeah, I feel like at this point in time, he's just like, he's got to feel like almost like you can't walk anywhere without people wanting to take a picture of him. I mean,
yeah,
it's like
how many times has somebody said, "Can I have a photograph?" It must be so tiring.
Yeah, well, I can tell you it is.
I often heard.
I see what you did there, Mike. I see what you did
there. Yeah, so that's fun. Well, I guess, Mike, how was Derby? How you feeling?
It's good. I'm, I guess, in the process of recovering and learning how to wake up at a normal time and go to bed at a normal time. But, you know, it's a pool lover's dream out there. You know, there's so many fantastic moments and matches and games and upstairs, downstairs, everywhere you look. And it's never an overload. It's just nothing but fantastic pool. And with the caliber of players that was there, I mean, it really made for a special year. So, but I'm glad it'll be another year until I get to be back in that place. I'll put it like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
10 days there is tough.
Yeah.
So, I guess before we get jumping in, I have a couple announcements I got to make in the beginning. I am going to be working on a kind of a project, and it's going to be a super classified project. So I am looking for potential people to help out with this. We are looking for some sort of person who could do like 3D designs or 3D replications. We are also looking for potential lawyers for it and potential interior designers. So if any of those three describe you, the listener of the show, and you would like to get, I guess, involved with helping us out with it, that would be amazing. Please reach out to me, Neight Mindham, or to the podcast page. Could really help. Yep, I'm on here pandering for help. So awesome. Second, we are going to talk about the audio issues. So as everybody knows, I've been kind of struggling with the podcast with a lot of different projects, and my time has ran up, so to speak. We have gotten somebody else involved with the podcast to help take the burden off of me in a couple of different ways. And I believe we have reached our first hiccup because he just started uploading podcasts about a week ago, and or about 2 weeks ago. I'm not trying to throw him under the bus. I just think there's something that's going on that we need to figure out. So I did not realize that the audio issues existed until this week. So we are going to get those all squared around, and they're going to be fixed in the near future. Do not worry about it. It's going to be a very short-term thing. So sorry about that for anybody who listens to the actual audio and not the live Facebook part of this. And I guess I should say, because of the audio issues, we have kind of had a surge of bad reviews on Apple Podcasts. We lost our 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts, and it makes me very sad. Yes, we are down to a 4.8 because 3 people went in and gave us bad reviews. And I think one of them was Molina Mike, so I'm not really
I missed one show, and it takes a dive.
Goes off the rails.
I can't leave you boys alone for nothing.
Well, I mean, there was a listener last time that just completely torched us and said the show is nothing without you, Mike. So that actually did happen last time. So
don't look up, don't look deep into who that person is. That's all I'm going to say.
That person needs help.
So you saw it. Yeah, you saw it. All right, sweet.
As for the audio issues, I mean, people should know it's really just the way Jim talks.
Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah.
So we have lost our 5-star rating. If you love any of us or all of us or the show in general, head over to Apple Podcasts and get us back up to 5-star. It would help out. Awesome. Please do. And if not, then
Well, to be honest, Nate, considering the absolute nonsense that you spoke on the last podcast, right. I'm surprised.
So with that being said, we can get. I think we can get started into the.
Wow, well played. Well played.
You know what? Nate had that button on. He was ready to go with that mute button, and to get.
I reckon it's Fedor that put that review in. That got you down to 4.8.
It could have been, yeah.
For blasting his one pocket game. Yeah.
Well,
Nostradamus Nate is what he's going to be called from here on out.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to get started with the show officially right now. And the official start of the show is all three of you. Just go ahead, blast me. Just tell me when you're ready. I can take it.
I'll start because I missed, and I was at the airport, and I said, let me catch up and see what these guys are talking about, because that way I don't go and ramble on the next show, about the same topic. And boy, in that middle of it, I was pleased to hear Nate go and say with such passion and matter-of-factness that the kid had zero chance, none of winning the Derby City one pocket. And Nate, I'll let you take over from there. I think we know how that played out.
Yeah. I mean, the more I think about it, it's just disappointment on my side, really.
Can you read it? What'd you write under, Nate?
Dunce.
Loser.
I'm
just very disappointed in you, Nate. I think it's I'm embarrassed for you, really, more than anything else.
Well, I wrote idiot on my forehead. What more do you want from me?
No, I think that suffices.
Every show needs someone who goes tilt in the wrong direction, because it makes the rest of us look good and gives us good fodder.
Well, like Nate makes sure everybody knows that years ago he made this, proclamation about Yap and being the best player on earth, and I got to remind you guys again. So it's like if you want to wear that crown, right, it's got to be a two-way street, right? So you went out on the limb. I mean, the forehead says it all, right?
Even a blind squirrel finds a nut now and again.
Yeah.
All right, my next genius proclamation is Oliver is going to be a top 5 player in the world in 2 years.
You said top 3 about 2 weeks ago.
Okay, whatever. I don't care. What's the difference?
He's been hit so hard by what Fedor did. He's lost all confidence, and even Oliver is now only going to be top 5.
In the net, Jim.
I'll tell you what.
If he's in the conversation for top 5, he's in the conversation for top 3. That's all.
Most disappointed person in that prediction is Oliver.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Why has Oliver got to suffer because of what happened?
And in fact, has anybody seen Oliver in the last 4 months?
We'll see him at the Championship League. The Premier League. We'll see him at the Premier League. Yeah. He's in there, isn't he?
Yeah. So yeah.
All right. Did you guys get a lot? Panozzo, you haven't had an opportunity yet. Do you want to blast into me for a little while?
I don't pile on.
Well, win in Rome, Mike. Come on. Yeah.
Water's warm. He's just going to sit there and smile.
I'd rather talk about how Fedor was my pick to win the Master of the Table, and that I thought he and Filler were the two people who had a realistic chance to win all 3 divisions.
Well,
thank you very much.
Attaboy, Mike. Attaboy, Mike.
All right,
I'd rather pat myself on the back than rip Nate.
My boy. See, this is why you're nice, Mike. This is why you're the nice Mike, right? Lucian, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I addressed the audio issues at the beginning of the podcast, so you can get that there. I apologize for that. It should be fixed going forward. You don't have to worry about that, hopefully. I guess, Fedor wins Master of the Table and does so in kind of convincing fashion. He cleared Jason Shaw by, I want to say, about 25. Does that sound right? About 25 points. He had 227 and a half, I thought I remember seeing. I tried to not use the website as much as I possibly can, because it feels like I'm entering into the 1940s whenever I use it. So I guess I'll look at it right now, though. And
I think he was about 50 or 60 points behind, because Jason had to win it to pip him by 5 points.
Yeah.
So Fedor had a 261, and Jason had a
203, I think.
202. Yeah, 202 and a half. So It's pretty impressive. 60 points clear, basically. I mean, that's a pretty dominating performance. I'm not a historian of the Derby City. Maybe, Mike, you would be more apt to answer this, but 60 points, I feel like, is quite a bit. Is that a normal amount, or is that kind of towards the top of what it's ever been?
No, that's pretty that's distancing yourself pretty much. And, you got to take into account that where did they have him lined up in the 9-ball? Because he went out early.
He got
17th.
17th?
The craziest part is Jason Shaw got second.
I thought he did, but
Jason got second, fourth, and fourth, and was 60 points behind.
Well, that's
crazy.
That's it. That's the thing. You win the tournaments, you get that extra bonus.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably the way it should be. Really, I mean, I think if Fedor had won 2 to Jason's 1, and Jason had got master of the table, then would you rather have been Jason or would you rather have been Fedor? I mean.
There's 2 ways of looking at it, and that's that Jason would have finished top 4 in all 3 divisions.
Consistency
which is pretty sporty. If you're talking about an MVP type of performance, that would be it, right?
Well,
so
I mean, what year does that not end up winning Master of the Table? Second, fourth, fourth. I mean, that wins Master of the Table probably most years.
And the year that Shane won 2 as well, I guess. That's not going to get you the Master of the Table. The year Shane won 2 of them. But I think the point system seems to work pretty well, because at the end of the day, Jason could only win it by getting first. It would have been really quite bent if Jason could have got Master of the Table by getting a second place in the 9-ball, for instance. That would have been a bit strange. To win 2,
and then you're looking at
the guy who wins it hasn't won any. That doesn't work.
Crazy would it be? Like, how dominating would 2 players have to be if you went first, and 17th, and you lost to somebody who went second, or second, fourth, first? I mean, like, that's
but I mean, listen, the best guy won it. The guy who dominated the entire event maybe just ran out of steam in the 9-ball. I mean, he came up against Filler, playing quite well, I think, and I don't know who the other one was that beat him. But I mean, he was dominant. What a performance. Brilliant. And I've got to say, Jason, also brilliant performance. Consistency. It's 2 guys that are on fire at the moment, and looks like they're the only there's only a couple of players in the world that can stop them at the moment, and it goes for both of them.
It's all 3 of them. And Shane, you can include Filler in that mix.
Yeah.
I mean, I know he didn't get any 4th place finishes, but the guy goes deep in the 1 pocket, losing Hill to the eventual runner up in Josh Roberts. Obviously his Bigfoot dramatic finish against Fedor, where if the kid didn't scratch on the break, he might have won 3 events coming back against Filler. So that was pretty remarkable. And then
looking to me like he lost to Shane too.
Yeah.
Fedor, right? Yeah.
So he's lost to Shane and Filler.
And that was a bit, I mean, that could have gone either way. It really could have. But Fedor for sure stole the show that week, and it's kind of hard to say that, because Jason was remarkable and Josh was remarkable. For me, everybody else was kind of an afterthought. But what Fedor was able to do with that cue ball, his decision making, his execution from morning until night was just something special. And I don't think he had any business going where he did in the banks, just because I really think it's gambling with all these top guys. Moore banks the ball well. Josh and Jason both bank the ball well. Obviously, you got a couple of young Americans who know how to bank the ball well, in Billy and Sky, who played both events. Omar Al-Shaheen, who just plays phenomenal in banks and in 1 pocket. To go and win that event is really what started the week. But his consistency, I guess kind of cemented his Derby City legacy,
Yeah.
He's on the rafters. He's up there now. And, Nick De Leon just jumped into the comments, and a pretty strong performance out of him as well. He ended up taking tied for 10th. As I don't think he's an amateur player, but he certainly is on the cusp of the amateur to low. It's like really, really top amateur to low professional, even middle of the pack professional. That's a pretty good performance when you look at what he did in that tournament. I just want to give a shout out to Nick. And I think you sponsored Mike.
There's a few players in there. There's at least 10 American players in there who've got themselves some ranking points, and I hope that encourages them to go chasing some more.
Shane Van Boning, Shane Wolford.
Shane's in there. Shane Wolford. I like to see Shane Wolford in there. I hope that gives him a little bit of a push to say, you know what, I'm going to go and attack some more events here. I've given myself, compared to the rest of the Americans, I've given myself a good start here. I've given myself a bit of an advantage over a few players. Mosconi is always there in the background, and if you're in the run for it, why not keep giving yourself the opportunity, So there's a few names in there, a few that I didn't expect, a few that are new to me. And I'm excited to see what I'm hoping they all think, I'm going to keep chasing this. I'm going to keep giving myself an opportunity, and I hope they keep going after it.
And let's face it, the red, white, and blue needs a shot in the arm. You can't go out there with the same lineup and expect different results. So to see those guys like Wolford, like my buddy Nick, go and do what they did,
Josh Roberts.
Yeah, well, I mean, Josh is one of those guys that's always. I don't think he really gets the respect that he deserves, but it's like you got to go and travel to all the events. I mean, he did well in Derby City, and he did well leading up to Derby City. Also, I think he had a strong showing in Iron City. But will Josh go and be at the World Championships? I don't know. He's got to go and travel to a lot of these big premier 9-ball events. You can't just go and complain from the sideline, and I hope he does, because I think the USA would do great with the way that Josh is hitting the ball right now. He works very hard on the table. But yeah,
a lot of never been a question as to whether or not he's talented enough to be on the team. I think he's it's hard to put him not on the top 5 list of at least eligible USA players. I think he absolutely belongs there.
Well,
go get it. Just go get
it. Yeah. What Jim said, you got to go and do it. And now, because of the rankings, you really got a chance to take the bull by the horns when you're some of these guys. So if you go out there and you travel and you compete and you work hard, the numbers are going to be there. There's a lot of guys on that list where you're like, who the hell is that guy? That are American players. But you got a chance to make a name for yourself if you want to go and do it.
Why wouldn't you want to play in Mosconi Cup? And now is the perfect opportunity for these players to get in there. Because if players are going to be a little bit lazy and pick and choose events, if you just invest a little bit, I mean, okay, there's going to be players that are maybe going to need a little bit of financial help. But if you can get that help and invest, now you've got a great shot of making that Mosconi Cup team, and why wouldn't you want to? I mean, the 3, 4, and 5 spot is going to be wide open for Team USA. Nobody owns those spots. Nobody owns those spots.
Yeah. I mean, everybody aside from Shane and Sky, it's going to be up for the taking. But even Chris did well. He went deep in Derby City and all the events before he got any kind of losses. Tyler performed well at the Cup. It's a good year and it's a good start. I love the way they're doing it. I hope there's going to be more events here in the States. But yeah, I mean, for me that week was it was the kids show, and it's kind of unfortunate because Reese wins the 9-ball and we haven't even brought him up, 20 minutes into the show. But that's what Fedor did. That's what Jason did. That's what Josh did. To see those 3 guys have the level of execution that they did, like USA's in a lot of trouble, because those are alphas.
They're the top dogs at the moment.
Right.
I've got one question for Molina as kind of our our one pocket specialist, our one pocket aficionado. I was always under the impression that you have these one pocket specialists, the Tony Chones, the Chip Comptons, that have kind of tailored their careers at the moment in that direction to be one pocket, but primarily one pocket players, and they'll go and play other events if it suits them. Does Fedor and Jason and these other guys dominating the event, is that a kick in the teeth for one pocket that these guys just come along and just play it once a year and take the title? Or is it, because to me that almost says it's not about the game, it's about the player, and the better player is going to win regardless of what the game is.
Race to 3.
Yeah. I think, don't get me wrong, I think it's fantastic seeing all these Europeans go and play. Dennis Grabe, Darren Appleton, Josh Filler, Kazakis went deep, Mario, he went deep, and those guys don't know nothing about an up-table game, but they can run out, they can bank the ball really well.
Well, I think it was Justin Hall that said that Jason thought he was playing snooker when he beat him.
Yeah.
Almost saying he's not playing the game the way it's supposed to be played.
Right. Yeah. I mean, even Fedor said it yesterday. He's like, traditionally these one pocket guys will go and just pass up on a shot that you're not supposed to go and shoot. He says, but I see it there, and if I think I can get it, I'm going to go for it. Where technically it may not be the right shot. I like the idea, and I said this the other day, where I love when great guys are made to feel uncomfortable in their greatness. And what I mean by that is I think Justin Hall is great. I think Chip is great. Tony's great. All these quote-unquote one-pocket specialists are fantastic players. Now, with that said, I love that there's heat coming from behind them. And I think those guys take a lot of pride in this being an American game, right? They take a lot of pride in keeping those Europeans out. I think they were happy that Dennis wasn't going to be there, right? But to go and have Fedor go and win it, I hope it motivates these guys. But I can promise you one thing. If any of them want to get played, any one of those Justin Halls, Chip Comptons, and Tony Chohans
in a long race
would love to play any of them. They'll tighten up the table and they'll just squeeze them. It'll be. But I love that we can go and have this conversation, right? Darren's one of those guys that plays one pocket really well. And a lot of people don't get to see him play all too often, but he's kind of got a style similar to Josh Roberts. Josh can be kind of a chameleon. He can shoot with you. He can move with you. He can put you in the pack. But these guys are learning the game, and as much as it hurts their brain, they seem to be having successes with it. And as a fan of pool, I want to see more guys get into playing it. I'd love to see the Asian players like the Chinese and Taiwanese, because their cue ball is so amazing and they can run out from anywhere. But it's tough because, you leave Jason a bank, he's going to go and bite. You leave Josh a bank, he's going to go and bite. And once he bites, he's got you in his mouth. He's not going to let go. He's going to go and run the balls out, and then he's going to go and put you in a really uncomfortable spot. They know enough to go and do that to you. So
did it maybe then, I mean, I've been a big follower of snooker. Snooker has changed throughout the years. It used to be a case of get your chance at the table, get as many points as you can, just pick off reds from around the pack, play safe, and wait for your next opportunity to pick up some more points. Nowadays, it's a case of get those reds open as quickly as possible and make a frame-winning break in one go. Is that kind of how the European guys were attacking the one pocket? Instead of just picking off the one or two balls, they were just trying to get in there as soon as possible and do it in one go and really attack it. Did they show a different kind? We talk about it being a short race. Is this maybe the better way to play it and to really go for it right from the start and not play that cagey kind of game? The long game.
I remember playing with Kazakis the night before the one pocket started, and like every time he had a chance, he just opened the pack and then he'd trap himself, right? And I said, what are you doing? And he said, well, I thought we're supposed to open balls. I said, yeah, but you open balls on my side, and now you're in a tough spot here. He said, yeah, but I like coming into it at this angle. I said, Alex, you got to go and pick and choose your spots, buddy. Like with me, it's fine. I'm not going to punish you, right? But when you start playing top guys who can go and run out balls, like you're dead, So I think there's still a learning curve there, but it does make for exciting one pocket because they don't know any better, so they do go and take those chances. So it's like it can really make for running 7 and 8s from nowhere, or it can make from you're shooting yourself in the foot and you're done, before you ever got started. But I love them trying. And Dennis Grabe is one of those guys who is going to be a solid one pocket player. He's been playing. I know whenever he traveled quite a bit back in September with the rest of the guys, he played all over the place. I saw a post from Buffalo where he had a pretty good score last night out there in Louisiana. So I like that they're wanting to go and learn the game. And if they learn the game, watch out.
I got to be honest. I mean, I haven't really followed much one pocket, but I did watch quite a few matches, and there was some that I really, really enjoyed watching, and others that, a slow player on a one pocket game is just not nice to watch, in my opinion. It's difficult for me to. But
you have to appreciate the moving.
You're watching Tony playing. He's a pretty quick player for a one pocket player, and he sees it very early. It's great to watch. I really enjoyed watching a lot of the matches. Some of them, okay, it's down to the players whether or not it's enjoyable or not, But yeah.
That's what cost Tony's match against Josh, though. Like if Tony moves more and doesn't shoot, Tony wins comfortably against Josh Filler a couple of years ago. And I know Tony's chomping at the bits to go and get a rematch.
That happened the same way when he played Justin Hall too. I think that was the reason he lost to Justin Hall, was because he was.
I think I saw the Justin Hall match. Yeah,
I watched that match from start to finish, and I thought Tony took some flyers that they didn't work out. Maybe sometimes they will, but in a short race to 3, under those conditions with pretty big pockets for one pocket, I mean, I think you got to play the game differently. I think you have to play the game of one pocket differently, and you have to play it in that more of a, just kind of pick off the balls and, go into the stack if you have a very sure thing, but don't go into the stack on those crazy flyers.
I mean, that's part of what made Fedor's win so spectacular for me, was because it was here where he won. We all know he can go and execute.
Well, I think, and they've been kind of barking back and forth of playing a big set for a while now, and they played a little bit in Vegas. I think for what was it? Which event was it? The U.S. Open that they played? No, that not there. No, the Predator World 10 Ball. Tony and Josh played a couple more one pocket sets out there, right?
No,
at Griff's.
No, in Vegas, Josh was playing more with Billy. They were playing by the game. Even Josh torched them. But I mean, to Billy's credit, he stuck in there.
Yeah, I was thinking. I think Tony played Josh again since then. But I mean, I just think Tony's got to move around better. I think when he's playing on those big pockets, I think you just can't open it up, because those big pockets. I say big, relatively speaking, of course, because those pockets are tiny to a player like me. But to Josh, who's like so accurate with the ball, I mean, if you give him 4.5-inch pockets playing one pocket, he's going to be throwing his cue ball at every single bank opportunity, every single flyer of a cut shot. I mean, like, you throw him on those 4-inch pockets, and it's different. I think you got to play. Tony's got to play different. I mean,
with Josh and Fedor being so young, and those guys who we're all mentioning being 15 to 20 years older, like, watch out, because they're coming. And they got a thirst to go and learn this game, because they do not like to go and lose.
Let me cut you off there, because I think this is an interesting conversation I wouldn't mind having. For the longest time, I mean, Jim, you can take your. Did you bring Dominic Dunn back with you, Molina? I think I can hear him in the background.
No, it's my dog.
Barking.
That's control back here.
Just kidding. Kind of. So I think the U.S. has been passed certainly for 10 years when it comes to pool. I mean, Europe has passed the U.S. pretty much in all aspects of the game. Certainly rotation. Probably an 8-ball too. I mean, they've just vastly far and away surpassed the U.S. at this point. And the one thing that I heard from the top pros in the U.S. is that, well, we play one pocket here anyways. And for the most part, that's kind of true. I guess my question is 2 parts. One, do you think that we're more one pocket because that's the only thing that we can win in? And number 2, if you think we're being passed up, I mean, what did we have in the mat? Or there's like 4 of the last 5 players were European, for, if I'm not mistaken, in the one pocket. Darren, Fedor. Well, anyways, do you guys think that if it is true that we are being passed just because the firepower is too great to basically outmove them, do you think that one pocket then takes a hit in the U.S. if we're no longer the best at it? I don't know, Panozzo, we haven't heard from you for a while. Why don't you take that on first?
I don't think it makes a difference. I don't think anybody in the U.S. is saying, "Oh, I'm not going to play one pocket anymore because the Europeans are good."
The only reason I asked that is because I mean, how many rotation players do we have in the U.S. now? And it started to die off right around when we started getting passed by Europe. It seems like, to me, anyways.
I don't think they're going to kill the game in the U.S. Players are still going to play, and they love to play, and they don't care who they're playing against. So I don't see pool in the U.S. going away because Europeans are good. That to me,
I just mean the infatuation with one pocket and like our kind of like, this is our home base of pool.
If you think that there's a huge infatuation with one pocket, I think one pocket has grown in recent years, and it's a fun game. And I think the Europeans, just like the Asians before, the Filipinos before them, started to play the game, realized this is a good challenge. This is fun. This is something to learn. This is something I can incorporate into another game. So they enjoy the challenge. So the U.S., they just have to step up and play better. And I think the U.S. still has the best one pocket players. If you get into, playing longer matches, and that's always the excuse that U.S. fans always use as well, race to 150 and Shane will beat anybody, whatever it is. But the case is that, one pocket's always been a gambling game. It's always been a longer game, a slower game. And if you get back to that game, the U.S. is still, the dominant force in one pocket. So, no, I don't think Europe is killing one pocket, and they're not going to kill bank pool, and they're not going to kill 8-ball, and I don't think they've killed 9-ball. We just need more players, more opportunities for players to play more frequently in big situations for big money, and then it'll start to come.
Okay,
I don't
Mike?
think sorry, go Mike. Yeah.
No, go ahead, Jim. I was just going to say which one.
For me, it's only one event. You can't turn around and say it's going to kill one pocket in the USA. It's just one event. Like you said, it's race to 3.
It's one event, but it's
at the end of the
European
day,
win.
At the end of the day, it's
got to start somewhere.
At the moment, there's 3 guys on the planet that are playing pool. I mean, we can't see what's happening in Asia and what's happening over there. Really, we don't know how good players are playing over there. At the moment, it's basically USA, Europe, and a few like Filipinos or Canadians or other countries that are mixed in within the European set of players. That is basically pool at the moment on the world level. And at the moment, there's 3 guys that are just a level above the rest at the moment. And for whatever reason that is, it's at the moment, it's just their time to pick off titles and earn some money as quickly as they can before it's somebody else like a Ruiz comes along and starts winning tournaments, or Shane decides, what, I've had enough of this. It's time to put the afterburners on again. It's the roller coaster, Jason Fedor and Jason Fedor mainly. I mean, Joshua's doing what Josh always does. It's Jason Fedor that have had the last month basically for the 2 of them. Fedor's been
Fransisco. I mean, honestly, Fransisco
you
Sanchez-Ruiz
can say
under the radar.
Did well in a couple of year tours. He's won the 9-ball, and congratulations to him. I'm sure we'll talk about him now and congratulate him. But if you look at the last month, Fedor's been in every final up until the DCC 9-ball in the last 5 events he's played in or something like that. Jason with his 7-1-4 and then killing it at DCC. These 2 guys are on a different level from the rest at the moment.
And turning stone.
But it doesn't have an effect on one pocket in the USA. If anything, the USA players should be turning around and saying, you know what, enjoy your moment because it's not going to last, and calling them out. I want to just answer Greg Thatcher. I see him in the comments saying that we were all saying that Fedor's one pocket game was lacking. How does that quotate? No, sorry. There was only one guy, that was saying that Fedor's one pocket game. Good. Finally, guys, finally. He's back. But in answer to your question, no, I don't think it has an effect on one pocket.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mike, anything?
Yeah, I don't know. It didn't go and necessarily inspire guys to play better 9-ball when they start playing better 9-ball, the Europeans. So it's hard to go and see that with the one pocket guys.
That's what I think.
So it's kind of hard to tell. The one pocket guys will only go and measure one way, and that's who gets the money. There's no other way to go and measure with that group of degenerates. So, I'm sure any of them would love to go and play a big set for whatever amount those Europeans can go and come up with. And the place to do it will probably be in May at Buffalo's $2,000 entry, $20,000 added on top. It'll probably be over $120,000 Calcutta, so if you want to get a score, whether it's in the tournament or otherwise, that's going to be the place to go and do it if you're into one pocket. So, and I hope more Europeans go and attend it. But the game's growing. I love seeing young guys come in, and I love seeing, new styles of play, guys who can just run 8 from anywhere. It's a great time for pool. Whether or not it inspires the Americans, I don't know.
I mean, at the end of the day, one pocket to me seems like, the majority of these guys are getting themselves into action, and that's how they're earning a little bit of money. Okay, you've got the occasional tournaments that can be a nice payday and stuff like that. But it's not going to have any effect to Tony and Chip, the fact that they didn't win the DCC. They can play each other as much as they want, and people will throw money in it, and it doesn't matter. They can ignore Fedor and Jason as far as one pocket goes. Turn around and say, listen, okay, you guys go and win your tournament once a year. I'm still making money every month. I'm in action against my own group of guys.
It's like Fedor's not going to get, and depending on what happens with Alex, Fedor's rotation action isn't going to be that much deeper to go and choose from. So, if the kid wants to continue to go and gamble,
He's got maybe
one,
2 players.
He's going to have to come outside his comfort zone. He's going to
Well,
have
I
to
mean,
play a game. He's going to have to play a game
one
where somebody
pocket's
thinks he can beat
one
him.
pocket's going to have to be it, you know.
Yeah.
So
unless he wants to play an 8-ball set against Shane or something like that, then he's
Shane and Fedor will never play ever.
Yeah.
Q-Tech won't allow it probably. Yeah.
I think Q-Tech doesn't want it. I think that there's a respect there that it goes very, very under the radar. It's not reported nearly as much. I think there is a respect between Shane and Fedor that is like few in the pool world, and I don't think either one of them is even interested in playing the other. I could be wrong on that, but that's, I mean, knowing Shane a little bit and knowing Fedor a little bit, I think that's kind of the impression I get is there's too much respect between those two players, and I'm sure it's probably mostly due to Q-Tech. I mean, I know Shane told me how
Shane don't have
Fedor
nothing to prove to nobody, you know. Like
no,
you know,
and he doesn't need the money.
Shane only got downside, I think, playing that game. You know, Fedor's
Yeah.
got all the upside in the world.
Well, I think it's the same way with Josh Filler. I think that's the reason, one of the big reasons that. Well, I mean, that side is on the Josh side is why that match isn't happening. But
I mean, if the players don't see the need for it, if their egos aren't big enough that they at the end of the day, these matches happen a lot of the time for ego. You know, it's a case I want to prove a point or whatever. You know, unless somebody's putting a hell of a lot of money in it, you know, and it's easy money for them. And I don't think Fedor's that much of an ego kind of guy. Shane doesn't really care anymore about that kind of thing. He's done enough in his career. He's got nothing to prove, like you said. Filler seems like the kind of guy is more likely the kind of guy who's going to get himself in a match in a one pocket against somebody that's a big underdog in because he wants to prove that he can play any game. You know, Filler's the kind of guy
like
you
Tony.
Filler's the kind of guy that you might get on a hook. You know, that might turn around and say, you know what, don't matter what the game is, you pick it. You know, but I don't think you get Fedor like that. I don't think you get Shane like that. I don't think you get Jason like that.
Well, one second, because I do want to tell the story that Shane told me as to how Fedor got with Q-Tech, because I think it's an interesting story. Shane was from what I was told, Shane was in Europe and saw Fedor play for the first time. And, you know, he got done with the match that he was in and called Q-Tech immediately and said, Fedor Gorst, this is your player. Go get him right now. And that was it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Shane saw what Fedor was from, you know, he was with, I think he signed him maybe when he was 18 or 19. I think he linked up with Q-Tech.
Well, he was a Predator before.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, Shane said to Q-Tech, this is your guy, go get him. And that was it. I mean, that like Shane knew from when the first time he basically saw Fedor play regularly that like this kid is different, right? Shane knows talent. And he said immediately, go get this kid. How many players? There's nobody that's, you know, Q-Tech doesn't sign many players. At the end of the day, like they don't have 5 players in their stable. They have basically 2 big ones and about a handful of, you know, other kind of middling players.
Well, over here in Europe, we knew it was that. I mean, from the age of like 12, 13, 14, we knew that this kid was going to, you know, he had the right attitude. He looked like a pro all the time. On the table, he was just so solid. Then he started doing his YouTube channel with his brothers, the other 2 or 3 Russian kids who have not come through the way he did. But I think we all kind of knew that Fedor was a level above those guys. And he's just picked off titles at youth level and just made his way through. And surprised he was world champion as early as he was, but not surprised at the way he's playing now. And
beating Chang too. You know,
yeah, I think
he's a phenom. You know, he's young. You know, we thought Albin's year was special, and it was. But I'm excited to see.
Yeah.
I'm excited to go and see what 22 is for the kid.
I think
he's off to a hell of a start.
I think there's going to be records broken this year in many different levels. I think we could. I would be interested to look at the Fargo rates of everybody at the moment and look at what the Fargo rates are at the end of the year. I think there's going to be new records in Fargo. I don't know how far Fargo can go as far as what's the highest rating you can get. But these guys are going to be breaking the 830s and getting up towards 840. The way these guys are playing at the moment, the way they're winning matches and dominating against very, very good players. I think we're going to see there's going to be some new figures all over the place, I think, come the end of this year. Yeah.
All right, here's a question. You guys got to answer this in as few as words as possible. No justification, just answer it. If I'm giving you 3 options, I'm giving you Fedor Gorst, or I'm giving you Joshua Filler and Jason Shaw, or I'm giving you the field. who you taking for the most titles this year? Panozzo.
Are you talking about the list of the Matchroom events? The Matchroom ranking titles?
All the major events. So not even major, just every single weekend. Who's going to win the most?
Jason, I'll take Jason and Filler as a pair.
Yeah, me too.
Mike?
Give me the field and let's bet high. Like, I think, don't get me wrong, I think they're great, but those odds, give me the field. There's a lot of great talent out there, and winning tournaments is tough to do. So I mean, like, and I think that's what makes what they've done that much more special, but it's difficult, and you got to have a lot of luck, and I think any of those guys would say the same thing.
Yep. Well, I mean, obviously the field I think is a safe bet, so it makes sense that the Neight would go there. Mike would go there.
I think it'd be unrealistic. I think it would be unrealistic to expect Fedor to win more tournaments than everybody else combined. I mean, unrealistic. But if you, I mean, listen, these.
I'll tell you what, he's basically even with the field right now. He's dang close to even with the field.
It's not. I wouldn't say he's even with the field at the moment. I mean, he didn't win the 9-ball. This is what we're talking about. You know, the 9-ball is going to be the one that's going to get you the ranking points. He didn't win that. He's not top of the ranking list. That's Ruiz. You know, and he's down
of the
17th
tournaments that I can think of. I think he's 3-3 this year on wins. He got second at Turning Stone.
He lost the DCC 9-ball, so he can't be 3 for 3.
No, 3 up
3 and 3.
Yeah.
No,
sorry,
3 for 6. 3 for 6.
3 wins.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why, like, 9-ball is tough. 9-ball is tough to win with those with that caliber of players.
9-ball's a tough game. Funny things happen.
And you're gonna go and play the UK Open and everything else with even more guys that are gonna go and be there who can run out. If the Asian players come back at some point this year, I mean, it's a lot. Like, you're dodging bullets left and right. So, it's incredible, but it's tough. And it's wide open. But Fedor's still special. He's at the top of the radar with Josh and Jason.
Well, let's use this as a transition to our next topic, which is going to be the one person apparently in the world that wants a piece of him right now. So Alex Pagulayan and Fedor are going to start their matchup tomorrow. It's going to be hand rack 10-ball race to is it 75? Am I right in saying that?
Mm-hmm.
Race to 75. It's being played in Illinois, and it starts tomorrow. So I guess this is the third time they've played this iteration. Alex won both times. Once was in Vegas. I'm not sure where the second time they played is. Do you know, Mike?
I think they were both in Vegas.
They're both in Vegas.
Time.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know I watched in person the one. I think Alex was up huge, like 23-15 or something like that, and Fedor got it back to close. I think he ended up losing 25-21 or 25-22 or something like that. So, you would think that this is at this point in Alex's career, and this, how hot Fedor's been playing, you'd kind of think, like, what is this? Why is this match even happening? How did it happen with no weight? But like, Alex won it twice coming into this, so obviously he likes his action playing it a third time. What do you guys think, Panozzo? You want to start us out?
It'd be tough not to pick Fedor. I mean, playing 10-ball long race, but it's nice to be 21 playing long race pool. But yeah, I mean, it's Alex won the other 2 times. I don't know, how I would have bet that way to start with, but I think I would have to go with Fedor right now. He's working on all cylinders.
Jim?
Kind of the same. I mean, much as I love Alex and his game, I don't see how he gets here against Fedor at the moment. I mean, Fedor seems to have him on all levels at the moment. He's got the break. He's just not missing balls. He's got the white on a string. How do you beat that?
There's one thing that Alex can do is he can kick. He can kick. I mean,
is he? I mean, he's only kicking if he's coming to the table to get out a safe. Is Fedor getting himself out of line that he's having to play safes? I don't. I mean, this is. I don't know. It's hard to see. It's hard to see how anyone can play better than Fedor. But it's one match. You don't know. Alex is a great player. He obviously fancies his chances. He's beaten him twice before, but I wouldn't bet on Alex, put it that way. I'd have to bet on Fedor. I'd have to put my money on Fedor, and I don't think I'd get much action off anybody unless I was giving them a start. I don't think. I think I'd have to be given weight to get any action.
Right, Mike?
I don't know what the line is on it. Michael, no.
Yeah, probably around 8. I mean, it's
That's what I've been saying.
Fedor's vogue right now, but Fedor was a 10-ball monster in September when they played as well. So, like, I mean, I don't want to say nothing's changed, right? Because he's got more titles and more successes over the last 30 days.
And he hasn't missed the ball since then.
Well, I mean, he's not gonna make a mistake. Alex has got to put him in tough spots. And the way Alex does that is by breaking from the side. He's going to make it a moving game. He's not going to let you go and see the one. After the break, even if he makes a ball, he's going to go and put you in some uncomfortable positions and, make you kick 3 times and jump the ball. And we know Fedor's great at jumping, but it's not going to be these cupcake layouts that you go and get with the template where everything's wide open and the one ball's hanging by the bottom left pocket. It's just not going to happen with the triangle rack. And that's part of the reason why the game is happening the way that it is. I think that had you said in September, Alex is playing Fedor, the line would have been just as long to go and bet on the kid. And everybody would have loved their side. It's no different now. But I don't want to say written off Alex, but I've thought like there's been games where I think Alex doesn't stand a chance, and I've been proven wrong time in and time out. And people forget a couple of years ago, Alex went deep in the Bigfoot, and he didn't have a great break then. So he's going to go and try to outmove you, try to get in your head a little bit with the way he's going to go and put you in some difficult spots. And if anybody can do it, it is Alex.
He's one of the guys that can figure it out. He can figure it out while he's there, while he's playing.
And I asked Fedor last night, I said, how do you like your chances? And he said, if I can figure out the break, I think I win by 15. He said, but if I can't figure out the break, then it's going to be tough and it's going to be close. And I think that's about as honest an opinion as you can go and get. And it is going to come down to the break. But with those guys, breaking 10-ball with a triangle rack is completely different than breaking 10-ball with a template.
Is it rack your own or are you racking for your opponent?
No, it's rack your own, but you can't go and mess around with the one ball.
Can't be squeezing the one down.
Yeah, no, they're not going to
stick them in, give them one squeeze, and then that's it.
It's a wrap. So I think it'll be a lot closer than people will give it credit for. But even if Alex wins, it's not going to say, oh, well, I guess we, overrated Fedor. No, it's just that's the game where Alex has an advantage, or at least like where it's close.
Say, I don't know if I'd, yeah.
Well, but I mean, if the table is open and Fedor's on the one, he's going to get out 95% of the time. I mean, he's getting out from everywhere. His cue ball is fantastic. I never saw him have to go and juice the ball more than 3 times after a week of playing pool. He gets perfect shape all the time. And it was over and over and over and over again. That's how well the kid is playing right now. So, once you give him an open, he's going to go and take it. But the thing is, can he go and hit you with threes, 4s, and 5s, racking the balls at the triangle? I don't know. I don't think so. So I think it'll be a lot closer than people,
I think it's fair to say, I think Fedor's supposed to win. But there's no reason why Alex can't make it very, very, very close. If it gets close, it's coin flip, And Alex ain't going to bottle it at 74-74, or 70-70. He's not going to disappear and crawl in a corner. He's going to be loving it. He's going to love it if it gets towards the end and it's nice and close, and he's in there with a shout at it. But he's going to Alex at Derby. Stay in the match early, Yeah,
I talked to Alex at Derby, and he said, nobody's beating me when I got to feed my kids.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, the guy wants to win.
Yeah.
Well, that's a statement. That's a strong statement. I'll say this. I think Fedor lied to you a little bit in your interview if he said that if he's breaking well, he can win by 15. Because if he's breaking the ball, if he's breaking with a template right now and they're playing a race of 75, does anybody think that Alex could get within 15? If they're using a template, it's alternate the break?
Only with alternate break, not with winner break.
Oh, yeah.
But they're not alternating, yeah.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah,
winner break template rack, Alex doesn't get to winner break template.
If they're using a template,
yes. 50.
If they're using a template rack, is there a way that Alex can get within 15?
No.
Zero chance, right? Zero. We're all pretty much in agreement if they're using a template. So when Fedor says, if I can figure out the break, what he's really trying to say is, can I make a ball and get a look at the one ball? Is if he's doing that, we all, I mean, obviously you're not going to do it as consistently, but if you're under the assumption that you are able to do that, Alex isn't getting within 15. I mean, there's just no way. Alex.
No, but that's why the game matters, and I think that's part of why I love what these rankings are doing, right? Because they're keeping it specific to 9-ball, and because the game really makes a difference.
In this case, the rack makes a difference because the game doesn't make a difference. The hand rack makes a difference. Yeah, the hand.
Yeah, but I mean, like it's part of it's part of what I mean, and there's no chance that Alex would ever play that game with a template, But as great as Fedor is, I mean, people forget, like when he played Jeff, he got up, I think, something like 10 or 12 games to 0 or to 1 or something. Like he started off extremely
It was
strong.
9-1. I know that. I know it was 9-1.
Right, but the next 2 days, the lead never changed. He was still up by the same amount of games, which means from that point going forward, they were even, and that was with the template. So I mean, the kid's playing phenomenal. Don't get me wrong, and he should win convincingly and especially if he can get that breakdown. But Alex is smart. And Alex has got a lot of experience, and he can figure out a way to go and make a ball and get on the 1-2. So
the only way
this is the thing with the hand rack against the template rack. The template rack, a guy with a break like Fedor's, he is making a ball and he's playing and giving himself the best chance of position on the 1. And he'll have it consistent. He'll have the speed consistent. He'll have the hit point consistent, and he'll be getting on the 1. He's guaranteed a ball, and he'll be getting on the 1 more than he's not. Now, when you're using the hand rack, it's about making a ball. You don't really care. You'd love it if the balls are sitting in a way where you're getting on the 1, but you're happy if you're just making a ball every single break and you're having the first hit. You're having the first chance at the safety if you're not on an easy pot on the 1. You have the first chance of playing a tactical push. You don't want a guy like Alex having the first shot in the rack, whether it's a pot or whether it's a tactical shot. So for Fedor, figuring the breakout, it's enough for him just to be making a ball and having that first shot. Whether he's on the 1 or not, doesn't really, he'd love to be, obviously, but it's not really the goal when you're playing with a hand rack, because it's very difficult. You can't really control it. You're just happy with making a 1. You might have to be putting you might have to be putting a cue ball in a spot that's not going to give you position on the 1 in order to make a ball.
They may start doing like they do in the Predator events where they're playing to cut the 1 on the side. I mean, you
exactly. That could be the ball you're trying to pop. That could be the ball you're trying to make. And that's why Shane's one of the best guys. We've got one of the best breaks in the world. He can figure out that very, very quickly. Within 2 or 3, 4 breaks, he can figure out the spot that he needs to have the white on that break line that will give him a ball every time. And then you look to see, okay, can I get a 1? Can I get a shot on the 1? But you just want to be making that ball when you're hand racking. That's it. Simple as that. Make a ball and give yourself the first opportunity.
I think it'll be a really good match, and I think it'll be more than just cupcake runouts. I think it'll be a lot more of playing pool, which I enjoy.
A lot more moving.
So I mean, the only way, the best way of making a ball in the break could be from breaking from the side, and then you're having a real scrappy rack. But you'll take that as long as you're making a ball in the break. And Fedor's one of the most consistent breaks. If he finds it, he'll be consistent enough to play it every single time.
Yeah. And for me, the race is beautiful. 75. It's nice. It's a nice short number every day where it'll keep me engaged and not be bored to my mind like half the time when I'm watching these big 10-ball races. So I'm actually looking forward to it. And it's 2 great players. So.
Fedor's not necessarily the quickest player either. So.
Yeah.
So I guess let's move on from here after we give our prediction for the match. So Panozzo, what do you think? What's your score line? Race to 75.
Well, I don't know. Mike makes a pretty convincing argument for Alex being able to turn this into a 10-ball version of 1 packet. Because he does know all the moves and he's kind of strategized the game to his advantage to make it close. But I'm still going to pick the kid by 5.
75-70. What do you got, Jim?
I think you could give him 10 and get there. I'll go 65.
Mike?
75-65 for Fedor.
75-64, the old man.
Oh,
The old man.
The old
man. The old man.
Whoa.
I just don't want to be I just don't want to have 3 Fedors across the board. So I mean, you can go.
You know how
next week's show you can go and crucify me for
exactly. You know how it worked out last time somebody bet against Fedor on this show.
I mean, listen, I'm the only
Now,
one
Mike,
rolling the dice a little.
Now, Mike,
bit.
all you gotta say is just say Fedor has 0 chance.
Zero.
Of getting over the Fedor
This is
line.
what's gonna happen now. My phone's gonna blow up and say, "Well, you know what? Since you think Alex is gonna go
I
and
got
win by
100,
9, I'll take Fedor even."
Yeah, I'll take Fedor with 2 on the wire, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're stealing, Mike. That's what they'll tell me. You're stealing, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
you give me 10, I'll take Fedor.
Don't sleep on Alex Pagulayan.
Yeah. I hope it's gonna be a good match, though. Honestly.
Well,
Should we talk about Ruiz? We have to talk about the fact that Ruiz.
No, Jim. Why don't you? Hey, Jim, why don't you let me talk every now and then? I want to give my prediction. They're obviously very good. I want to give my prediction.
Well,
Come on.
Listen, we all know over here.
We all know.
All right, I'm gonna give my prediction now. I got 75-68. I'll take Fedor. All right, I got my talking in. All right, Jim.
Yeah, there's no surprise that you didn't bet against Fedor again. How did that work out for you last time? I mean, come on.
Yeah, genius.
He learned his lesson
All right.
at least, right?
Yeah.
All right. No, we're not going to talk about Fransisco Sanchez-Ruiz. He's too good. We're going to talk about Darren and Mika because that starts this weekend too, and I am running it. So it's going to be streamed for free and live to the Cue It Up Network. Mike, what do you think? Molina Mike, what do you think? What's the matchup look like to you?
What are we talking about? Say that again.
You're already getting barking for some bets.
What's the race?
It is going to be a race to 30 10 ball on Saturday, and Sunday is going to be either a race to 314.1 or a race to 30 and 8 ball. So we'll talk about the 10 ball. What do you think? Race to 30 10 ball.
I like Mika. No disrespect to Darren, but I've lost a lot of money betting against Mika over the last 15 months. It's been brutal. The guy's just playing phenomenal.
Who have you lost more money betting against, Chip or Mika?
Oh, Mika, no doubt, Mika, because I learned quick with Chip. With Mika, it's always like I'm gonna keep on. He doesn't stand a chance. He's stealing against Max Eberle, and I'm giving 3 games, and all of a sudden it's 9-8, and I'm ready to go jump off the bridge. But whatever. I mean, yeah, no, Mika is playing pretty good. His firepower is just fantastic. I don't think you're gonna see traditional Big 10 ball breaks from either one of them, but Mika's
I'll say this: the table that they're playing on is super, super loose. It's 4 3/4 inch pockets, and they play pretty easy. It's all we got available, man. We don't have big tables in Wisconsin. I'm sorry, it's the best we can do. So just got to put that out there too.
Jason, if they get picked to play straight pool, Jason's 7-14 might be under threat with those size of pockets. If Darren gets on a roll,
yeah,
they're big. They're big tables.
Jesus. Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
no, I think it's
almost as big as your pockets, Jim. Almost.
I'd love to see the straight pool though. I think that's pretty fascinating. With those guys' history of that game. So, but yeah, I mean, if not, hell, let's go and play the third one. Be 8 ball. I like that idea.
I like to see them play 8 ball. Yeah.
Yeah, 8 ball would be a good game.
We don't see enough 8 ball.
Yep.
I'll take Darren if it's 8 ball.
Yeah, I'd take Darren in the 8 ball too, but that would be a good contest.
Oh, that's unfair. I thought we were sweating it, Mike. I thought I was taking Darren on both, and you were taking Mika on both.
Okay, so what are we doing? How much are we betting, buddy? We'll have to pay up at the Moscone Cup, but we'll fire something. Dinner?
Yeah. All right, then we go.
Who's ever paying for dinner with all these 3 clowns?
All right.
Well, if we're going to do this, let's get us all. If this is going to happen, let's get us all involved here, and we need to come up with it. We need to come up with some sort of competition where we each get to pick a player. So there's 4 combinations total. Either Mika wins both, Darren wins both, Mika wins 10 ball, Darren wins the other, or vice versa. So there's 4 of us.
We can do
opportunities.
That. I like that.
Okay. So how are we going to set this up? The loser buys dinner for the rest of us. What are we doing? Sorry.
You're going to have 3 losers.
Yeah,
hold on. If right. Jim's taking Darren and I'll take Mika, any of you clowns want Mika with me? And then we'll half it up.
Yeah, I'll take Mika. I'll take that.
I'll take Mika in 10. I'll take Mika.
And now we got 3 on Mika.
Well, that's perfect for me. We'll chop it up 3 ways.
No,
so one bill for Jim.
I'm double Darren. One bill for Jim. I'm double Appleton. Double
Jim
Appleton here.
Apple.
I'm 2 apples, and Molina's taken 2 Mikas. So we've got a Mika 10-ball, Appleton 8-ball, and an Appleton 10-ball, Mika 8-ball for the 2 of you. Which one do you want?
I'll take Mika 10-ball, Darren.
Oh, brave of you. Very brave of you.
I'll take Mika in the straight pool too.
I'll take that.
Oh, if it's straight pool, I'll take Mika
I have
too.
no idea how this bet's going right now. Who the hell's
Neither do I.
It don't matter. Jim's paying.
Whoever's
off,
wrong, whoever is wrong on both buys dinner for everybody. If you win one of the two, you're safe. If you're wrong on both, you're buying dinner.
That's true. Somebody's going to be wrong on both. Yeah, the one that's wrong on both.
10-ball and 8-ball or 10-ball and straight pool.
No, Mike, you've got Mika to win the 8-ball or straight pool, and Darren to win the 10-ball.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, no, you got the short end of the stick.
Loser gets to pick the spot.
Yeah, well, I that's good. Anytime you need drink food or drinks, you go to Mike. Mike knows his stuff. You do not. I don't care if you have like Bobby souffle or whatever the hell is there. I don't care. You listen to Panozzo. Panozzo knows what he is doing.
Cocktail
all right,
Panozzo.
So this is how it's going. I got Darren in 10-ball, and I got Mika in 10-ball, and I got Darren in 8-ball. What do you got, Panozzo?
No clue. You tell me.
I think you got Darren in 10-ball and Mika in 8-ball. Jim's got Jim has Darren in both, and Molina Mike has. So this is how it's going. Whoever loses both bets buys dinner. Whoever loses one of the two has to buy a round of drinks, and that's perfect for us because Mike doesn't drink.
Bingo.
There you go.
Mike.
Who doesn't drink? You don't drink.
Well, we've got it on tape, so I'm sure we'll figure it out.
I might need to be in a dinner with you, buddy. I might go off the wagon.
You're going to struggle without it.
Oh, man. That just went out the door.
So, I guess, well, we don't even have to get predictions anymore because we're basically, we got bets on it. So that's good for us. But we'll say this, whoever loses both and has to buy the dinner gets to pick the restaurant. So if I lose, we're going to McDonald's.
There you go. Drive-through.
Wouldn't expect anything less from you.
Neight's the ultimate mover. There you go.
Yeah.
And if I lose one of the two, we're doing like the $1 mystery shots you can find. That's my round of drinks.
Oh boy.
Never change, Nate. Never change. Stay classy.
It'll be good.
Nothing top shelf with this guy.
Yeah, it'll be good. It'll be good. This will be fun. We got some sweat betting to do. Again, that match is going to be streamed live right here on Cue It Up Network. It's going to be absolutely free, although we are going to be giving away a ton of prizes. We have a $1,300 Jacoby custom cue. We have a J Flowers jump cue. We have a J Flowers shooting cue. We have a set of balls. We have about we have. You ready for this?
About time to get a pair, buddy.
We have this many magic racks.
Nice.
We also have the Rasan, the brand new Rasan racks.
Oh, sweet.
We have a Predator cue. We have Town Chalk. We have Town Tips. We have Tiger Tips. We have about 40 jerseys given from on board.
Jesus.
We are giving away. Yeah,
I'll fire 50 at it. I'll fire a $50 bill.
We are going to end up having.
Throw some of that to the side, mate.
Completely outfitted.
I was going to say,
we're giving away over.
He needs a table and you're ready to go.
We're giving away over $5,000 worth of product. Let's put it that way. Comfortably over $5,000 worth of product for a 2-day event. So we'll give you all the ways that you can donate to the stream if you want to. Donations will get you entries into the raffles, so you can win some of this sweet gear. And other than that, I mean,
share, donate.
I'm even missing stuff. We're also giving away some trainer cue balls. We're giving away another cue that I forgot about. We're giving away another cue. I don't know. It's a lot. It's a really, really lot. So we're giving all this stuff away, and all you got to do is just donate to the stream. It could be $5, could be $10, could be $1 million, whatever it is. You got lots of stuff to win.
And you get the pleasure of listening to me and Nate commentating on it. Smashing each other.
Well, it depends if you wake up or not. This is going to... Well, they're here. Perfect. Somebody asked, what time does it start on Saturday? It starts at 7 p.m., which I guess is, like 3 a.m. for you, Jim?
It's stupid o'clock for
2
me.
a.m.?
Yeah. It's going to be long. But listen, I'm up with a I'm up with a couple of week-old baby at that time anyway, so she can sit and watch it with me.
There you go.
Fine. Get her started early.
If you need some help, I'll jump in for the old man. I know baby duty stuff.
For the old man. Wow.
There you go. You might. Well, actually, I might end up taking you up on that, Mike. If you
Vegas is just around the corner, really.
If you want to comment,
See you in December, buddy.
commentate part of it, Mike, you're more than welcome to, because I'm going to end up probably having to do a lot of the stuff on the floor. So I am a one-man band trying to run a stream, do raffles, manage Darren and Mika, which is a full-time job. I'll probably end up reffing it. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of work for me. So I will take the help on commentary.
Perfect.
Yeah,
other
than that, I guess that's pretty much it.
Easy money.
Yeah. I guess, is there anything else that we want to cover?
Negative.
No, for me.
Sanchez-Ruiz caught the donut today.
Yeah, I was going to say.
How are you going to go on Dog Ruiz, man? He wins
how are you going to leave him hanging? The guy just won the biggest title in his career, and you leave him hanging.
It's all about 9-ball, and the dude's just overlooking him,
There it is. Look at our man.
There you go.
He's been knocking on the door for a while. He's cracked up. He's picked up a couple of Euro tours over the last year. The kid's on fire. I would even go so far as to say he's possibly, he's stronger than his best mate now. He's Al Qaeda. I think
it's been that way for a couple of years.
I think
Jim.
It's been that case for a while.
Yeah, he never gets the opportunities because David does so well in Masters.
Yeah, but I think he's. Right, that's a big lead. 16,000 is a big points lead at the moment. If you're talking about getting in with the top 3 Europeans to get into Mosconi, you don't go over the. I had a discussion with Mike on Facebook earlier. That's worth more than 2 Euro tours. And you can discuss whether or not that's fair or not. But at the end of the day, these guys are going to be going and fighting out with each other at Euro Tours, and you're not going to get there but winning 2 Euro Tours on that 60 to that 16,000. So that's a big lead he's got. That's impressive. That's it's going to make a big difference for him. And it's exciting.
It's a hell of a start, and he's one of these guys where the rankings were made for him. Because he seems to be forgotten for a lot of events, so maybe he ought to get, a little bit more respect. So this is a chance to kind of go and play his way onto that team and it's not just the Mosconi Cup, because if you're in, I think within whether it's 12 or 24, that means you get automatically entered into getting invited for Premier League, Masters. So all these invitationals, it's going to be so many that are going to be automatic. So if he's, at the top of those lists, then, he's got guaranteed money, which is fantastic.
Yeah. Well, here it is. If you take the top 3 Europe and your top 3 US right now for the Mosconi Cup, obviously it's the first match. It's first event. It's stupid to even do this. But if we do, you're looking at Fransisco Sanchez-Ruiz, Joshua Filler, and Mario He. You gotta suspect that your picks, your 2 captains picks would probably end up being Fedor and Jason at that point. And then the U.S. side, you're looking at Shane Van Boning, Shane Wolford, and Nick De Leon. Your
Danny Olsen,
Sky and Tyler. Who knows? Yeah,
that's too early. It's too early to say that. It's just. It just shows you they're not ranking. Winning the tournament makes a big difference. Josh lost in the final, and he's got half the points. That's it's quite a. Winning the tournaments will make a big difference. Certainly these big ones. It's going to be difficult for the guy that wins the US Open not to end up in the top 3. If he's an American, if he's a European, it's going to be difficult to see the guy that wins the US Open not.
Well, that's why these things are weighted like that. Because. They're going to go and reward guys who are traveling and who are performing well. So
I get that, but I don't necessarily agree that you can guarantee yourself a top 3 finish by winning one tournament. I don't necessarily agree with that.
I think in the US, you probably can. You can in Europe.
Yeah, and I don't necessarily agree with that. I mean, what's first prize for the US Open? 60,000. How do 3 players get above 60,000 over a year? I mean,
in Europe, it'll be easy. I shouldn't
How do
say
you do
it'll
that?
be easy.
It will, but it certainly will not be easy. Your 5 Euro Tours are 6,000 each for winning them.
Well, it'll be tough for this go around, but
you only get halfway if you win every Euro Tour.
No, I mean, it'll force guys to add more money though.
There will be 30 people. I bet there will be 3 people in Europe that will get over 60,000 in money. Just a guess.
Well,
in
one of them
in 9-ball money.
In 9-ball money outside of the US Open. Outside of the US Open, 60,000. I'll take that bet, 100%.
Wasn't the well? Hold on. Let me talk. Wasn't there 13 events on the calendar?
Yeah, but they're not paying big money. I mean, the DCC is 16,000. That's one of the big payers.
I realize that, but you're getting one guaranteed from the World 9-ball Championships, because that's going to be right at 60,000, right? Probably very close to it, if not over it, right? So you're guaranteeing one. What's the UK Open going to pay? That's probably going to be 60,000, if not more. So you're getting 2 for free. You don't think that one person in Europe is going to get over $60,000 that isn't going to win one of those 2 tournaments?
You're assuming it's going to be a European that wins them all.
No, I'm saying that I think that there will probably
look what they did at Derby.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I think there will be over 3 people that get over 60,000.
Right, we'll see.
You're getting 2 for free unless the same winner is the UK Open and the World 9-ball.
Right, put it this way. So let's say US Open, World Championships, and UK Open, 3 European winners. How does anyone else get above these guys? So all 3 of them are going to get in based on 1 win.
Correct. Yeah. Well, I'm not saying that.
All I'm saying is I don't disagree. I think I like the ranking system, but I don't necessarily agree that 1 win should get you into the Mosconi Cup. I think you should have to pick up points overall.
If the American or a European wins the World 9-ball, that gets you in immediately.
Yeah, but that's because you're world champion. It's got nothing to do with points. That's just the world champion will play. That's all it is.
Well, yeah, but now instead of the world champion getting in, now it's because you won the world championships and nobody can pass you in money, right? It's the same outcome.
No, it's the theory behind
it's just for a different reason.
The world champion will play at the Mosconi Cup. That's all it is.
But it's kind of the same thing. It's the same outcome.
No, different.
It's the same outcome for a different reason. I mean,
but then if the US Open is the same money, then you're basically saying the US Open champion gets into the Mosconi Cup as well.
Has there been a situation where the US Open was an American or a European and never got in? Sure, has it ever happened? I mean,
Sanchez-Ruiz got to the final of the international and didn't get in.
That's not the US Open. That's a different event.
Yeah, but it was the US Open then. The US Open's only been going for. It's only happened twice since it was the US Open. It was the old international before then.
Of course, I know that. Yeah. But the international didn't start until 2018.
Sanchez-Ruiz got to the final and didn't get in.
To the final of what? The international?
Well, the old US Open.
Well, what year? What?
It's a new day, and there's going to be more. I don't think that list of events is going to be the end of the events for the year. I think as the year progresses,
there'll be more coming in.
More events are going to be added onto it that go and meet those requirements. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, I love it. Don't get me wrong. I really like it as a world ranking. You got to start somewhere. I just, the ranking will be, if tournament directors and organizers want to cheat, then it can influence the ranking depending on how much tournament organizers want to put in the beginning. Now, hopefully, then players start to ignore those tournaments who are not paying as much money, so it becomes less valuable and easier to win. Therefore, you deserve not to get as many. But let's say all the Europeans say, I'm still going to go and play the Euro Tour. It's still the toughest tournament to win and the least amount of ranking points.
Well, for now.
I don't know. I still don't.
That's what I mean. Right at this moment. So you would hope that the European players turn around. Either the Euro Tour puts more money in, or the players say it's not worth playing anymore. So it becomes an easier tournament, and therefore an easier tournament, less ranking points. Okay.
I don't know. I still think your argument doesn't work. Getting to the final of something should not guarantee you a spot, so you can't use that.
I didn't say it should, but getting to 2 finals. What would you rather have? Getting to 2 finals or winning one and blowing out in the other?
winning
What's
one.
more valuable for qualifying for Mosconi Cup?
Well, but that's why you're only going to get 3 and 2. Like the
winning
eyeball
one.
test is still going to be
winning one of them.
It's still going to be in play for 2 spots. You know, it's just 3 of the spots are going to come from how you go and perform.
Yeah. I mean, I'm interested to see how it pans out. I don't necessarily believe that when we look at the ranking at the end of the year, I don't think that it will look like what we would consider to be the order of the players who have performed the best. You know what I mean? It will be a money list.
It'll be based off of how
Money.
you went. But that's
Money.
The best
how
players
else-
win the best events.
How else are you going to go engage it though? You know,
The best players win
it's,
the best event.
I'm not saying it's the wrong way to do it. I'm just saying it won't necessarily give you a ranking based on performance.
yeah.
It'll give you a ranking based on when you perform good. Did you perform good at the right times to win the big money? You know, did you turn up with your best game when the most money was on the line?
Yeah,
you know?
The best players win the best events. I mean, that was if there was a knock against Fransisco Sanchez-Ruiz coming into Derby 9 balls, that he's never won in a big event outside of the Euro Tours. I mean, that was the one knock that you had against him, and now he's won a big, real 9-ball event, and now all of that is $16,000 isn't that much at the end of the day. Like as far as
on the ranking, it looks like on the ranking, which is the important thing. You know,
well, it's because it's the only thing that's on there. Once the U.S. Open happens in April or what, I think that's what's the next event on there? Is it the April U.S. Open? Is that the next one that's on there?
No, I think the UK Open happens in May.
Yeah,
it's got to be something. Well, you've got the Premier League.
Well, April's before that.
Premier League.
April's before that.
February.
Jim's got a hard time with months.
I don't even know what time it is, let alone what month we're in.
Yeah, so
we'll
I don't know.
I personally, I think Sanchez-Ruiz could fit nicely into that European team. I think he's got the right attitude for it. I think he's a good player for Europe in the future. He would have been there if Jason had decided that he needed to stay at home after what happened with Ara. That it was going to be Sanchez-Ruiz that was slotting into play. So
all I'm saying is, if Fransisco Sanchez-Ruiz, let's just say he doesn't cash in the World 9-ball, he will not be in the top 5 anymore with $16,000. He won't.
Yeah, I don't think you can go and rest on one win.
He might not be in the top 7.
That's not what I said. Oh, it doesn't matter.
Chopping it down. All right, we're good. We're going to get out of here. All right. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in again. And one last time, the announcements I made in the beginning. We have a project that I am trying to get underway, and I need some help for it. So if you are somebody who can handle 3D representations of things, if you have that type of graphic design skills,
it better be PG, buddy, because all these 3D ideas of things, and your Manscaped passions makes me a little uneasy.
Virtual reality manscaping.
A little uneasy, buddy. That's all I'm going to say.
Virtual reality group manscaping.
So, skipping these two, we also might need a lawyer and a potential.
Yeah, you're going to need a lawyer, all right.
With that being said, if this describes you and you're interested in helping out the podcast with a potential idea, please reach out to me and let me know. And now that we're at the end of the podcast, if you listen to the podcast using Apple Podcast Review, please go in there and give us a rating. We lost our 5-star rating because our audio issues were terrible. We fixed them. They should be good now. You don't have to worry about the audio issues anymore. We apologize for that. But a couple people went over there and gave us like 3 stars and a 4-star. So please go over there and, I don't know, help us fluff our ego by getting back up to 5 stars. All right. With that, we're getting out of here. Oh, Jim's over there. Like he looks so sad. I forgot about you, Jim. All right. So we'll close it out. So thanks everybody again for tuning in. We'll see you next week.
Later.
Actually, we'll see you Saturday, right? Yeah, we're going to see you Saturday. Yeah.
Bright and early.
All right.